Feeling really overwhelmed? Discover the science of emotion regulation. Do you ever feel like you're on the verge of being swallowed up by your emotions? Overwhelm is something we all experience, but here's the key. Feeling overwhelmed is a signal, not a sentence. It's like your brain telling you it needs better tools to cope. In this video, we're going to explore the science behind emotion regulation and how it lays the foundation for lasting resilience. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I help you strengthen your mind and fortify your brain to build resilience. Help regulate your emotions and build resilience. So first off, what is emotional overwhelm? Emotional overwhelm occurs when our stress or emotional burden exceeds our ability to cope. It often feels like our thoughts and emotions are spiraling out of control, leaving us feeling paralyzed or in a heightened state of distress. Here's the thing. This is not just in your head. Feeling overwhelmed has roots in your brain's processes, is learning how to manage this emotional response. And this is where emotion regulation comes into play. It's a skill that you can strengthen with practice. So what exactly is emotion regulation? It's your brain's ability to manage and respond to emotional experiences. At its core, emotion regulation involves two major players in your brain, the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. The amygdala is like an alarm system constantly scanning for threats. Indulge me a minute as I drill down on this just a little bit. If you could care less about this level of detail, skip ahead a minute. The cortex is the outermost layer of the brain, and it's made up of gray matter, which consists mainly of nerve cell bodies and is divided into different regions or lobes. Each of these lobes is responsible for various functions. The frontal lobe is involved in decision-making, problem-solving, emotion regulation, and voluntary movement. The prefrontal cortex that I just talked about is part of the frontal lobe, something we discussed in the previous video. Your brain can adapt and change its neural pathways based on your experiences and practices. With consistent effort, you can strengthen your pathways in the prefrontal cortex, enhancing the ability to regulate emotions more effectively. In essence, emotion regulation is a trainable skill. Today, I want to introduce you to two strategies that will help you. For this example, we'll choose touch. Find a specific stimulus for that sense. If we're focusing on touch, pick up an object nearby, like a textured stone or a piece of fabric or a cup of tea. Then spend 20 to 30 seconds fully experiencing that sense. Close your eyes if you can, and slowly run your fingers over the object. Noticing every bump, curve, or temperature, pay attention to every detail, labeling the emotion. This technique involves consciously identifying and naming the specific emotions that you're experiencing. It might sound simple, but it's surprisingly powerful. And why does this work? Because when you're feeling overwhelmed, your brain's emotional center, the amygdala, can dominate, making it harder to think rationally. By labeling your emotions, you activate the prefrontal cortex, which helps calm down the amygdala and reduces the intensity of the emotion. Here's how you can practice it. Pause when you notice that you're feeling overwhelmed. Take a minute and tune into what's happening inside of you. Then identify and name the emotions that you're experiencing. Say to yourself or write down statements like, I feel anxious and frustrated, or I feel sadness and stress. Then acknowledge that it's okay to feel this way. This simple acknowledgement helps you separate yourself from the emotion, creating some mental space to manage it. Labeling emotions does not involve dismissing or minimizing them. Labeling emotions is recognizing what you're experiencing so you can deal with it more effectively. By naming the emotions, you help your prefrontal cortex create an opportunity. But the beauty of the card deck is that you can carry the cards with you, because this exercise works best in the moment when the feeling is fresh. Of course, you can always reflect on this later, but the ideal scenario is that as soon as you feel some type of way, you can immediately analyze what that way is and give it a name. Here's an example. Let's say I'm working on a big project, and I get an email from my boss saying she wants to meet to discuss my progress. Then I go between fearful and angry. As I think about it more, I conclude that I actually feel resentful. I resent the fact that my boss is micromanaging me. She just let me get my work done. I can't get anything done, if I have to keep stopping for these check-ins. I'm especially resentful because I noticed that my male counterpart, who's working on the same project, doesn't have as many of these meetings now on the surface. The pounding in my chest that I got from the email may seem like I was feeling anxious, but I don't connect with fear or anxiety, connect with anger, and I can acknowledge to myself that I feel singled out. But maybe my assumptions are incorrect. So I'll give my boss the benefit of the doubt for now. This analysis of how I really feel diffuses the intensity of my emotional response and allows me to keep my anger in check. I can put my cards away and go into the meeting with a more open mind about the purpose of the meeting. So that's labeling your emotions, also termed effective labeling. So let's recap. Emotional overwhelm can feel like a wave crashing over you, but with the right tools, you can learn to ride that wave instead of being swept away by it. Today, we explored 2 techniques to help you build emotional regulation: savoring the senses and labeling the emotions. Both these strategies work to engage your brain in ways that calm the emotional storm. To deepen your understanding of how you can train your brain to build emotional strength, the journey to resilience is about equipping yourself with the right tools and practicing them consistently. Thank you for watching today. See you next time.